When I've had a lack of sleep, I hallucinate. I have insomnia. In the past years, it's gotten better, and I hope it stays that way. However, a few years ago, now, 2023, my insomnia was really bad, like at its peak, and I started getting hallucinations every once in a while. So it was like between the hours of 11:30, 2 a.m. Apologies, rhyme just collapsed into itself. Was sat on the couch, on my phone, probably watching something or playing something while everyone else in my house was most likely asleep. And I heard a vehicle of some sort coming down my road. My road isn't a main road. However, it isn't exactly in the middle of nowhere, so I'm like, okay, what's that? But this vehicle both felt and sounded heavy, and it sounded like a bin man waste collection lorry. I'm from the UK, but either way, it wasn't the type of vehicle that would just be driving at that hour of the night, and I thought, am I hearing things? And then both of my cats ran to the windowsill and started looking, and then I was like, OMG, is something actually there? So I looked and nothing was there, and I looked in every direction and there was nothing in sight. But I could hear it so clearly. It was so loud and advantageously went away, like probably less than a minute later or something. And I just moved on and just didn't tibic about it because nothing really followed up on it. A couple months ago, 2024, my brother lives in the same house, said that something weird happened LLSDT night and described the same thing but described it as like more of a tank. But either way, like a heavy vehicle coming down the road, and the cats reacted to it in the same way. I didn't tell him that the same thing happened to me because I didn't want to A, freak him out, and B, mess around with stuff that doesn't concern me. I have no actual explanation for this, but if there's a non-paranormal explanation, I would be happy to hear it. I just found this weird. The presence of police officers, along with the cordoning off of the sidewalk, was an unusual sight in this quiet neighborhood. I was on my way home, yet I couldn't help but squeeze through the crowd for a better look. What must have been the forensics team was already on site, noting down bloodstains and other scattered belongings. Why would someone so young decide to end her life like that? The whispers and gossiping from the crowd only intensified, with onlookers straining to catch a glimpse while police officers motioned for all of us to stay behind the tape while openly asking for eyewitnesses. Thankfully, they've covered her up. It was such a gory sight. There was such a loud thud. I wonder if her parents are aware of this yet. I sighed and nodded to the stranger on my left in agreement. I guess we'll hear more about it in the evening news. It was a long day for me, and I didn't quite have the mental capacity to hang around and gawk. I was about to take my leave when excited chatter spread through the crowd. I saw what happened. She didn't jump. I'm telling you, someone threw her off. I was at the opposite block and saw everything. I caught sight of a middle-aged woman walking away from the crowd with a police officer. The gasps in the crowd were audible for all to hear as the police brought her out and led her to somewhere else. Yes, the man who threw her was wearing a blue jacket. I didn't quite get a good look at him as he was wearing a face make. I could see the concerned looks of the officer as he scribbled down in his notepad and started radioing his colleagues. My eyes and hers briefly met as I retreated from the crowd. Oh, don't you worry, I'm going to dispose of that jacket later. But ma'am, you've seen too much. This happened years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. I don't even believe in ghosts or anything, and I am sure there's a logical explanation for this somewhere, but it still freaks me out to this day. Lol. So my stepfather works out of town, and he used to stay the whole week away from the family, and we had a tradition of all taking turns having sleepovers when he was gone. It was my turn to have a sleepover in my mom's bedroom, which has always freaked everyone out. Seriously. If there has ever been a ghost in the house, it is definitely back there. I'm not going to get into all the shit surrounding that room because that's not the point of the post, but just know the bedroom is weird, always hearing stuff moving around in there, scratching and pounding at the door, bathroom and closet lights flickering, you know, weird stuff. But anyway, at the time, everyone was pretty scared and never wanted to be in there by themselves. During the sleepover, my mom said she was going to go outside to smoke a cig, and she asked me if I wanted to keep the light on until she got back. Of course, I told her to keep the light on. So she goes outside and I'm kinda just chilling in the room for a few minutes, trying not to be freaked out when the lights turn out and I feel someone get into the bed next to me. I thought it was my mom, so I didn't even turn around. I just said something stupid like, "Hi," or "Welcome back." And my mom started rubbing my back, and her hands felt cold. But of course, she was just outside smoking, so of course she would be cold. Anyway, she keeps rubbing my back and then starts scratching it, and it actually really started to be uncomfortable, and it actually started to hurt. It was hurting me. She was hurting me. I told her to stop, and at first she bet. But after I asked again, it went back to a normal nice back rub. But, as you may have expected, it was my mom, after all. She came in the room and was all like, "I thought you wanted the light on," and I was like, "Yeah, I did, but you came back a few minutes ago, remember?" And then she was like, "No, I just came back inside right now." So, of course, I was feeling confused and a bit freaked out, so at this point I finally roll over to look at her, and she was just now getting into the bed, and I asked her again if she was sure she was just now coming in, and she was like, "Yeah, I just finished smoking," which I thought was weird because then who was hurting my back? LOL. So I thought maybe I imagined the whole thing and asked my mom if she can shine her phone's flashlight on my back because it felt itchy. And when she looked at it, she said it was all red with scratch marks, and she joked about me being flexible. LOL. So anyway, yeah, sorry if this was long and also boring/stupid. I just still think of this literal years later, and I'm like, yeah, what was that all about? Never written a Reddit post, but need to know if this has happened to other people. This is inconsequential, but I'm 100% this is weird and I can't stop thinking about it. I threw an object away, gold, shiny, not mistakable or blendable, in my bathroom trash last night. Very distinct memory of putting it right on top of the bathroom trash. This morning I took my kitchen trash out. I forgot to empty my bathroom trash, which was also full, so I ended up throwing the small bathroom trash bag into the now empty kitchen trash. The gold shiny object was at the top of the bathroom trash bag when I removed the bag to throw it away. I replaced the bathroom trash bin with a fresh, completely empty small trash bag. The bin itself was also completely empty. I went to throw something away in my bathroom trash, maybe like 2A or something like that later, and the gold shiny object was in the otherwise empty bathroom trash bag. The same unmistakable gold shiny object that I just threw away in the kitchen trash. I checked the kitchen trash and it wasn't there anymore. I live alone, and no one could be in my tiny studio without me knowing. I'm not drunk or high. There is no explanation I can come up with. Anyone? In a big house with hidden production rooms and a long line of buses out front, the 13th season of the popular reality show Love Island UK is being filmed. 14 housemates live together under constant surveillance from a total of 84 cameras, not including the one carefully concealed over the shower. There to monitor potential unseen romances between contestants. The more information producers have of the household's goings-on, the more dramatic the narrative that they can finesse. Peter Singer is one such producer. He's currently watching one of 8 large monitors in production room 3, where he's been reclining in an office chair perfectly still for 7 hours since morning. The black coffee on the desk beside him went cold 3 hours ago. He's wondering if what he glimpsed through camera 67 2 days prior is a phenomenon limited to nighttime. He thinks that it might be. Whatever it was, it wouldn't risk exposure in the day. He still hasn't told the crew yet. He wants to be certain. He's also dangerously close to urinating himself because his undivided attention has bypassed all awareness of his basic bodily functions. Tilda, John, and Samantha look as if they were made from a plastic mold. His musculature is HGH, enhanced, And her lack of expression, born of bi-yearly Botox injections, makes her smile appear a face trying to free itself. The couple is sharing a beanbag next to the tropical Mubel infinity pool, discussing recent gossip overheard, wherein Tina and Sam were whispering unsavory about Declan and Danielle's opinion of Romina and Luke, who took issue with Marion kissing Luke at last night's Truth or Dare game. With a dark patch now spreading from his crotch, Peter is watching them carefully. He thought he saw something. Tilda John kisses Samantha before standing. She'd spent 24 minutes applying tinted sunscreen to 98% of her body, so she decides to stay. Today's sun is better than usual. Tilda Peter gasps, following John's path to the outdoor kitchen area. What he's witnessing on camera, 27, has his senses lost entirely. One step ahead of John, there is a man facing John, staring at him, walking backwards in perfect rhythm with his ape-like gait. John keeps walking, careless, without noticing a thing. The man looks just like the other contestants, but also not at all. From a gaping slice on his throat, a river of blood runs thickly down his chest. Reeling in terror, Peter finally notices his pants. Tilde. The next morning, 12 housemaids wake suddenly to a girlish scream from Luke, outside, who woke early to train. They rush downstairs and through the patio doors, and all 12 immediately fall into panic hysterics. The boys, save for Mike, are squealing. The infinity pool, yesterday brilliant in its sunlit blueness, is now entirely red. There, floating face down, is John's body, drifting over a carving knife, long sunken. Tildy. The very next day, bombshell Curtis from S11 arrives to replace him. No one bats an eye. The police are outside. I didn't do anything wrong. They have guns drawn. I'm sure every window and door is covered. The corruption goes all the way to the top. I had the balls to blow the whistle on their illegal surveillance and intimidation tactics. They didn't like that one bit. Weeks of constant harassment followed, and I took it like a champ. I wasn't going to let those fascists bully one more person into submission. God help me, they are kicking down the front door. It will take them some time to get past IDs. They will need to use their drones. Last week I noticed the files planted on my hard drives. Unspeakable things. I knew I was fucked, but I couldn't let them know yet. I started prepping for today. Once they started altering my search history, 2 days ago, I knew I didn't have much time left. Not with what they had me searching. I can hear them detonating my bombs. I bet the nails blasted further than they expected. I hope I got a few. Not much time now. The basement door is barricaded though. That won't be easy to get past. Today I got home from work. The hair I placed on the door handle was on the floor. They were inside my home while I was at work. I searched every inch of this place. They didn't find my preparations. But they did leave me a gift. I thought what they were doing in my computer was bad. The 3 steel barrels in my basement told me how fucked I truly was. I popped the lid of one. I had to know. I hope I take out as many of these sick bastards as I can. The smell blurred my vision. Hands, feet, eyes. Too many and too small. I'm going to die today, but no, I didn't do the things they will accuse me of. If you read this, share it. I am innocent, and they have it coming. Just a person, I guess. Where are the twins? Have you met the twins? It's like we never had any other identity. The matching clothes didn't help, and I know you hated the comparisons, but let's be honest. It's easier when you're the twin everyone would prefer to have 2 of. I appreciate how you always tried to include me. Charisma never came easily to me, and I'm not sure I'd have any friends if you hadn't made them for us. You gave me opportunities, I know that. It was me who squandered them, and I'm sorry if I embarrassed you along the way. Then you married Rachel. I truly believe you didn't know I was in love with her. But it stings that you never noticed. That's why I missed your wedding. My flight wasn't canceled. You've always been so strong. I understand why Mom and Dad are so proud of you. I've never had that kind of strength. I always give in when faced with temptation, and now, this weekend, You agreed to go camping with me last minute, no questions asked. I needed you, and as always, you were there. I hope you can understand. I'll bury this letter with you in the grave I dug, along with all the feelings of self-doubt and inferiority I've carried for so long. I could never live up to you as a twin, but I think, maybe, can be happy as a person.